Well, before we wrap up today, I wanted to show you a flower preserving process that is actually quite fun. And you've probably got these flowers growing in your yard right now. This is called candying flowers, and it's a very easy process. Now right over here I have some Johnny Jump Ups that I did earlier this year, and you'll notice how well the color and the shape of the flowers is preserved. Now these are great because you can use them to decorate cakes or use them as garnishes on the plates, and they can really spruce up your baking. And they also last a long time. Well, it's an easy process and you only need a few supplies. First of all, you need an egg white with a few drops of water in it and a new paintbrush. Be sure to get a new one because you don't want to use one that you've already used in paint, and some superfine sugar. Now this is not powdered sugar, but it's granulated sugar that I've put through the blender, and that will break it up so it's super fine. And finally, the flowers that you use, you can use any kind of edible flower, but the pansies and the violets and the violas really lend themselves to this process because of their bright colors and also because they're so flat. Well, all you need to do is pick the flowers and wash them really well. And the important thing to remember is to use flowers that haven't been treated with any pesticides. That's very important because you're going to be eating these. After you've washed them and dried them, just remove the stem here, and then use your paintbrush to paint the petals with some egg white. Now you just want a thin coat on the top of the petals, and also on the back side of these petals. Go ahead and coat them with a thin layer all the way around. Next, you just take some of your sugar and sprinkle that over the top. You can do this fairly heavily because you're going to shake off the excess, and then do this again on the back side. And it's important to get them well coated with the sugar because that's part of the preservation of the flower. Now once you've got that, shake off the excess and then just lay those out to dry on a piece of wax paper or parchment paper. Now these will take about 12 to 36 hours to dry depending on the humidity, and if you want to speed this process up, you can put them in an oven with the pilot light on overnight, or you can put them in an electric oven with the door slightly ajar with a temperature from 150 to 200 degrees for several hours, and that will dry them out for you. Now once they're dry, you can store them in a well-sealed container, and these will actually last for up to a year. So you'll probably want to do a whole lot of them at once and stock up on them so that you can use them to decorate all of those pies and cakes and pastries that you're making. This is a really fun project, and it's a fun thing to do in a group.
We hope you've enjoyed this classic from the Oklahoma Gardening Vault. Remember, even though these tips and techniques are timeless, there's always something new to learn in the world of gardening. By subscribing to both Oklahoma Gardening and OK Gardening Classics, you'll have access to a wealth of gardening knowledge, both classic and contemporary.